שירו לאדוני, שיר חדש, שירו לאדוני, כל הארץ, שירו לאדוני, ברכו שמו, בסכו מיום ליום ישועתו. שירו לאדוני שיר חדש, שירו לאדוני כל הארץ, שירו לאדוני ברכו שמו, בסכו מיום ליום ישועתו. ספרו והגויים כבודו, לכל העמים לכלאותיו, כי גדול אדוני ומהולל מאוד, נורא הוא על כל אלוהים. שירו לאדוני שיר חדש, שירו לאדוני כל הארץ, שירו לאדוני ברכו שמו, בסו מיום ליום ישועתו. ספרו והגויים כבודו.
Shabbat Shalom. Tonight should be about celebration, about inclusivity, about freedom, about love of self and love of others. Our Torah portion, Shalach Lecha, begins with a journey of self-discovery in the face of uncertainty, a perfect metaphor for creating spaces where people can feel safe to discover their own true selves whenever and however that feels right. And it is, but our hearts are also heavy. Supreme Court rulings on abortion access and access to firearms, political platforms declaring homophobic rhetoric, all part of the continued societal pendulum swing to the right. The space in the middle gets smaller and smaller, and it becomes more and more important to stand up for choice, for autonomy and freedom. All the more so tonight, we should celebrate who we are and what we stand for. Perhaps, as New York Times columnist Mark Gevasier wrote, in the past few years, pride events in the Western world have become formulaic, and those who remember the way the movement began as protest may complain with clockwork predictability that pride has become little more than an excuse for a party or a branding opportunity for corporations, one that wraps the month of June in feel-good rainbow colors rather than powerful, genuine, year-round transformation. But the mood is different now. In a year when more than 300 anti-LGBTQ bills have been introduced in state legislatures, pride cannot be just a party or a corporate branding opportunity. It must once again find its role as an emblematic struggle against the gathering of illiberal forces, those who would shut down personal autonomy, ostensibly in the name of traditional values or faith, to reassert patriarchal control over a population that increasingly makes its own decisions. Pride is about visibility, about showing the simple humanity of all people, about creating safe spaces for all of us to be proud of who we are. So tonight, we welcome that protective shelter of peace that Shabbat is meant to provide. Let us not give up the opportunity to celebrate love. Let us celebrate diversity. Let us celebrate inclusivity. And let us celebrate light. And so we begin our service on page 3 in our Sidurim, our prayer books. It's my pleasure to invite up Charlotte Pollock to offer the reading before the blessing.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Blessed are you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the light of Shabbat.
Please join me on page 5 with Kiddush. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho b'avov ratzon hinchilanu, sekaran le'maseh v'reshit, ki hu yom techila le'mikra'e kodesh, zecher litziat Mitzrayim, ki banu
L'chaim. We turn now to page 12 as we welcome Shabbat with song from Psalm 95, L'chu Neranena.
Let us sing unto God a new song. Let us sing unto God a new song. La 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la. Don't turn the page, just go across the page. The bottom paragraph, Yismechu Hashamayim, rejoicing in the earth. Yismechu Hashamayim, Yismechu Hashamayim, Yismechu Hashamayim,
to page 20 so that we can welcome the Sabbath bride singing Lecha Dodi. As always, we sing verses 1 and 2, 5 and 9, and when we reach verse 9, Believe Shalom, we rise and turn to face the entrance of our sanctuary, welcoming that Shabbat spirit that we make real when we sing all together. And whether you're here with us in the Wolf Sanctuary or joining us on live stream, know that all of our spirits are joined together and making that Shabbat spirit feel true. So sing with us. To those around you, wish them a Shabbat Shalom. Let them know how glad you are they're here. We're skipping Hatzikah. That's what it says on mine. Oh. What do you want to do? Okay, cool. Stay standing. We're on page 28 for the Baruch Hu. We'll remain standing through the Shema. Continue on page 30 with Ma'ariv Aravim. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bidvaro Ma'ariv Aravim b'chokhmah poteach sha'arim uvit vuna mishane etim umachalif et hazmanim umisader et hakochavim b'mishmerotehem barakia kertzono borei yom v'layla Golel or mipnei choshech, v'choshech mipnei or. Uma avir yom umevi laila, uma avdil bein yom uvein laila. Adonai Sevaot Shemo. El chai v'kayam, tamid yimloch aleinu le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai, hama'ariv aravim. Turn to your supplement. I think it's the front of the second page. We are loved by an unending love. Tonight, of course, the theme is love is love. And so we sing together this musical setting for the poem by Rabbi Rami Shapiro. We are the arms, the fingers, the voices. Ours are the hands, the eyes, the smiles. We are loved by an unending love. We are loved, loved, loved by unending love, an unending love. We are loved, loved, loved by unending love, an unending love. Page 34. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed. You may be seated. Please join me on page 36 with the Haftarah. V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha v'chol levacha v'chol nafshecha v'chol me'odecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinanta levanecha v'divarta bam v'shivtecha b'beitecha u'v'lechtecha b'derech u'v'shochbecha u'v'kumecha u'kshartam leot hayadecha v'hayu letotafot bein einecha u'chtavtam al mezuzot beitecha u'v'yisharecha למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לרעיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם. Turn back to your Pride Shabbat supplement as we share in a special responsive Geulah reading of redemption. Our people came out of Egypt, a mixed multitude, the spray of dividing waters, sparkling diamonds all around them.
Sinai, all of us, future, present, past, amid the rumble and thunder and the crack of bright lightning, to enter into covenant with the one who loves us, in whose shining image we are all created over and over again.
We have wandered bleak landscapes, built flimsy tents of skin, and then houses of stone. We have planted orchards and vineyards, seen 2 temples rise, and then go down in the surging flames, forcing us into exile. We have loved and lost, grieved and danced, transgressed and celebrated, hidden, suffered, thrived.
Amid we gather here this day in the community of our people, a mixed multitude, and we sing out, "Hear, O Israel, we stand together, all of us, descendants of the single first human created on the 6th day, and of our myriad of parents down through the generations, too numerous to name. We stand together, link arms, and pray.
Blessed are you, God of the universe, who sanctifies us with the commandment to love ourselves and one another in all our varied ways, and blesses us with a diamond bright radiance that still ripples out from your first spoken words of creation. Micha Mocha, page 40.
Mocha, chazak mimenu. Baruch atah Adonai, Gal Yisrael.
On page 43, we read together. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Adonai, help us to walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts, that we may lie down in peace and rise up waiting to do your will. Baruch atah Adonai, hapurei sukat shalom aleinu, v'al kol amo Yisrael, v'al Yerushalayim. For the tefillah on page 46.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei avoteinu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, Elyon, Komel Chasadim Tovim, V'konei Hakol, V'zocher Chastei Avot V'imahot, U'mevii Geula Livnei Bneihem, Lema'an Shemo Be'ava, Melech Ozer U'Moshiach U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham Bezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechayeh Kol Atah Rav Lehoshia, Morid Atah, Mechakel Chaim Bechesed, Mechayeh Hakol Berachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim Berofei Cholim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayem Emunato, Lishenei Afar, Nichamocha Ba'al Gevurot, Urmito Melech, Melech Memit Umechayeh, Umatzmiach Yeshua, B'nei Atah L'chayot Hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayeh Hakol. Atah Kadosh v'Shimcha Kadosh, U'Kedoshim b'Chayom Ya'alelucha Selah. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh.
You may be seated. On the top of page 55, we sanctify this day as holy, reading together. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. And may this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat. We go once more to our special Pride supplement to share in a blessing for Pride. Cantor, we're going to read this one responsibly. Thank you. Responsively. Mikor HaChayim, source of life, you have blessed each of us with your spirit. In your wisdom, you have made each of us a unique treasure.
Mayan Chayenu, wellspring of our lives, cause us to flow with courage, strength, and compassion, to live our stories openly, proudly, and joyfully.
Shechina shel ahava, presence of love. You embrace us with your love. May we embrace ourselves, our partners, our lovers, our friends, our children, our dear ones, with the power of your unending, boundless love.
Ruach HaShalom, spirit of peace and wholeness, open our eyes to the gifts and blessing we offer and receive from each other. Open our hearts to welcome each other fully and truly. Open our hands to embrace, to support, to lift each other with joy, with song, and with deep friendship. Today, as we celebrate renewal, pride, and community, let us walk together with strength, compassion, and love.
Together, we bless you, wellspring of our lives. May you fill us with joy and sanctity. Speaking of joy and sanctity, I have 4 anniversary blessings to bestow this evening. First, I would love to call up Charlotte and Bob Pollock, celebrating their golden anniversary, and they're going to join us in front of the open ark. They're going to join me in front of the open ark. Mishaberach, Avotenu, Abraham, Yitzhak, V'Yaakov, V'Imotenu, Sarah, Rivka, Leah, Rachel. May the Holy One who blessed our ancestors before us bless these cherished members of our congregation, Bob and Charlotte, as they celebrate a major milestone, their golden 50th wedding anniversary tomorrow. Can't believe it. 20th, only 20, maybe 40, right? Though relative newcomers, you have already added so much to our temple community and beyond, offering your time, your talent, and your hearts over and over again. We pray that your life together continue to be one in which you embrace and nurture each other. May you know that you are celebrated here in this sacred place by your extended congregational family and your own family as well. And may you continue to be blessed with family and friends who share in your joys and sorrows. May you be blessed with continued devotion and commitment. May you be blessed with a home filled with strength and faith. And may you always find blessing in each other. The path of life is often unpredictable. May God continue to watch over you, sheltering you by day and bringing you rest and comfort through the night. We thank you, Adonai, who in love has allowed these two amazing people to reach this sacred milestone. And so Charlotte and Bob, having shared these 50 plus years together with hearts intertwined, so may you look to tomorrow and beyond with God's blessings abounding, filling your lives with sweetness, with hope and health, and of course, with love. And so we say, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, shehechianu v'kiyamanu v'higianu lasman hazeh. Amen. And happy anniversary. Excellent. Yeah, they should have kissed each other first. I know I did that. Okay. Now we move on to 70 years, so you have something to look forward to. Joe, I'm going to offer you a blessing. Joe Strauss, do you want to just stand? Stand where you are, with your two beautiful daughters here to support you, knowing that Jossie is here in spirit. I offer this blessing to the two of you. Misha Berach, Avotenu Abraham Yitzchak v'Yaakov v'Imotenu Yisrael Rivka Avrahel. May the one who blessed our mothers and fathers before us bring blessing to you, Joe, and to Jossie Strauss, as you celebrate that sacred moment, your 70th anniversary of married life together. O eternal our God, source of all blessing, continue to fulfill every worthy wish that Jossie and Joe have in their hearts. Open their eyes to the beauty and mystery of the love they hold for each other every day as today. May they know fully how they are celebrated here in this sacred place and in their beloved San Antonio by family, friends, and community members alike, as you both have added so much to our community with passion, committed leadership, and good humor. So may your life together continue to be one in which you embrace and nurture each other. 70 years ago, you pledged to one another that you would weather life's challenges together. And though your life has not been without hardship or pain, we know that you have encountered each obstacle together, hands and hearts intertwined. May God continue to watch over you, sheltering you by day and bringing you rest and comfort through the night. We thank Adonai, who in love has allowed you to reach this sacred milestone. And we offer Shehechianu for them too. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, Shehechianu v'kiyamanu v'higianu lasman hazeh. Amen. Two more. We have two wonderful couples joining us on live stream who are also celebrating milestone anniversaries this week. Sylvia and Herb Brown are celebrating 64 years, and Sylvia and Hugh Wolf, 70 years as well. This blessing is for you. Misha Berach, Avotenu, Abraham Yitzchak v'Yaakov, v'Imotenu Sarah Rivka Avrahel. May the one who blessed our mothers and fathers before us bring blessing to these brides and grooms, Sylvia and Herb, and Sylvia and Hugh, 2 S's and 2 H's, by the way, as they celebrate a lifetime of sacred commitment to each other. O eternal our God, source of all blessing, continue to fulfill every worthy wish of their hearts. Open their eyes to the beauty and mystery of love that they hold for each other. May their life together continue to embrace and nurture the care they have shown for each other. Truly, O God, they have been blessed with friends who have shared their joys and sorrows, blessed with memories of a lifetime of devotion and commitment. They are blessed with having built a home worthy of blessing that others see as a symbol of strength and faith and they are blessed with each other. The path of life is unpredictable, yet 64 and 70 years ago, you pledged yourselves to each other. And though, as we all know, life is without hardship or pain, you have weathered all of life's obstacles together, always hand in hand. May God continue to watch over you and shelter you by day and bring you rest and comfort through the night. And we thank you, Adonai, who has allowed these amazing people to reach this sacred milestone. Kendra, let's just sing Siman Tov and Mazel Tov for everyone, because I think 3 Shehechianas in one setting is a little excessive.
Yes.
So, okay.
Siman Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Siman Tov, Siman Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Siman Tov, Siman Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Siman Tov, Keilanu, Yeheilanu, Yeheilanu, Ulecha Yisrael, Yeheilanu, Yeheilanu, Ulecha Yisrael, Yeheilanu, Yeheilanu, Ulecha Yisrael, Yeheilanu, Yeheilanu, Ulecha Yisrael.
We wish a hearty Mazel Tov to Charlotte and Bob, to Joe and Jossie, to Sylvia and Herb, and to Sylvia and Hugh. Quite an amazing legacy of love and dedication for all of us to live up to. Amen. Thank you. And so, with that joy overflowing within, we now shift our blessings from celebration to hope and healing as we offer blessings for those who face the future not fully whole. If there's someone in your life in need of healing, I invite you to think about them, to picture them, those who you hold in your heart. Close your eyes if you wish, and whisper their names out loud. And so we sing together a prayer for healing, which is here on the front of your supplements. Elna Rifana La. New.
Dear God of our ancestors,
Dear God of our ancestors,
help us renew our faith.
help us renew our faith.
Grant us a perfect healing.
Grant us a perfect healing.
Bring peace to all our days.
Bring peace to all our days.
Restore our strength of body.
Restore our strength of body.
Help clarify our minds.
Help clarify our minds.
Refresh our tired spirits.
Refresh our tired spirits.
Rejuvenate our light.
Rejuvenate our light.
Often during our silent prayer, we may pray for peace, for health, or for peace in Israel. And these are all important things. When we remember that all of us are part of an us, an Aleinu, and we work together, we can make these things happen. As we take a moment for silent prayer, I invite you to think about the gifts that you are given, the gifts that you bring to the community, to Aleinu, to help make our world a better place. Following our silent prayer, we'll sing a version of Shalom Rav, for prayer for peace, in which the composer adds the word aleinu, us, to remind us that together we all can bring about a better world. Please take a moment for silent prayer. Shalom Rav Aleinu Tasim Leolam. 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 All sorts of all that is, help us to nations as one, teach as our own. Shalom Rav Aleinu Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Aleinu Tasim Leolam. Oh, source of life, open up our eyes that we may see justice is light. Shalom Rav Aleinu Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Aleinu Tasim Leolam. In every season, in every hour, God bless the people, taking back the power, bringing it to the streets, serving those in need, do holy work until we all are free. Bring it to the streets, serving those in need, doing the holy work until we all are free. Shalom Rav Aleinu Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Aleinu Tasim Leolam.
It is my pleasure to invite up Ashley Ross to offer a special Devar Torah this evening.
Hello, Shabbat Shalom. Okay, so this is my first time doing this, so I apologize if I seem nervous, but we'll get through this together. So the Torah portion we'll be discussing today is Parshat Shelach, Numbers 13:1 to 15:41, and There's quite a lot going on in it, to be honest. And in my first draft, I spent like a page summarizing it, and Rabbi Jurgen was like, "Oh no, honey, please shorten that." So I did, and you'll be glad to know that I shortened it down and summarized it in 3 short little sentences. I'm going to start this by summarizing what the portion says. Number 1, it chronicles the journey of the scouts sent out by Moses to assess the land promised to the Israelites by God and the fallout of their report. 2, in a choose-your-own-adventure sort of manner, it lays out the options for sacrifices made to God upon entering the land promised to the Israelites. 3, it also touches upon God's command to wear fringes on the corners of our garments so that we will be reminded of God's commandments. The part I would really like to focus on is the first part, where we learn about how God commanded Moses to send a leader from each of the 12 tribes out to scout the land that would be the future home of the Israelites. At the end of their mission, the scouts returned and reported their findings, delivering an overwhelmingly negative testimony, which devastated the Israelites. In an appropriately dramatic fashion, the Israelites just collectively lost it, openly questioning God's motivations. God, of course, was not very happy about that. God threatened to annihilate the Israelites and start over, a fate only avoided by Moses using a clever kind of reverse psychology-esque strategy of de-escalation. He basically suggested that if God slaughtered the Israelites there in the wilderness, that other people would think God did so because God was powerless to bring the Israelites to the land God had promised them. So I didn't expect that to be successful when I was reading, but it was successful, thankfully. God thankfully ended up pardoning them, but he denied any but Caleb, Joshua, and the children the right to enter the land promised to the Israelites. So like I said, I spent quite a lot of work on this drafting. And after a lot of thought and in consideration of Pride Month, I chose to focus the bulk of my talk on a theme that seemed present in that little section: doubt, and the difficulty of changing the status quo when you're uncertain of the outcome. This is something we all have faced, are facing currently, or will face, possibly multiple times throughout our lives. In fact, during Pride Month and Pride Shabbat, this is even more relevant. So I'll start this discussion by asking the question, why did the Israelites, even after being delivered from Egypt by God, allow themselves to be swayed by doubt when tasked with claiming the land God promised them? So I have a couple of commentaries that kind of answer this question, and I will also summarize those briefly. In a commentary on this portion, Rabbi Marissa Alana James relates the fears and doubts the Israelites succumbed to when faced with the unknown to her own fears and doubts about moving to Jerusalem. She talks about the overwhelming amount of advice she was inundated with and how it drove her to, quote unquote, imagine all the ways in which she might suffer rather than bask in the excitement of the possible opportunities and adventure. She ends her commentary with the reflection that we are continually sending our thoughts to the future, wondering what will be, and like the Israelites in the wilderness, we are continually learning to look at the future through the lens of our strengths rather than through the lens of our fears. In another commentary, Rabbi Morris Adler is credited with holding the scouts responsible for this change of heart, theorizing that the scouts, as quote-unquote carefully chosen leaders whose words carried great weight and whose judgment was relied upon and trusted by the Israelites, subverted the people by deliberately misusing their position and power. Rabbi Adler attributes their motivations for this to being, quote-unquote, pleased with the status quo of the desert and, quote-unquote, opposing change, that life was good enough for them. Rabbi Adler also asserts that they wanted to pull down the blinds of the world and live in the security of their own safe desert. In this same commentary, and this is the last little bit I'll summarize, support for Rabbi Adler's theory is drawn from Rabbi Simeon ben Yochai's teaching when he told his students that, quote unquote, the spies went up to the land of Israel with evil thoughts and returned with evil thoughts. The commentary interprets this teaching as saying the scouts failed themselves and their people by closing their minds, by refusing to scout the land without prejudice or narrow-mindedness. Given the commentaries I just mentioned and your own knowledge of this portion, what do you think is the answer? I'd like to believe that the answer to the question is a combination of all of these interpretations, that the Israelites allowed themselves to be swayed by doubt because they were misled by people whom they trusted to give them quality information so they can make an informed decision. Also, that they were failed by the scouts having closed minds due to preconceived notions when gathering information and evaluating the odds of success, and that they allowed fear to overshadow all their existing triumphs and strengths, everything they had already overcome with God's help. And I believe that it may not have been just the scouts who allowed themselves to become comfortable with the status quo. How many times have you decided not to pursue something because you weren't sure whether you would succeed or whether what you obtained would be better than what you currently had? I know I've been tempted many times to just stick with what I had because I told myself, well, it's comfortable enough, and I'm not that unhappy. It's tolerable. I'll manage. And like the Israelites in this situation, I have often let the opinions of loud critics drown out my self-confidence, my self-worth, and my capabilities. I almost didn't tell my grandma I'm bisexual because I had been told horror stories of families disowning their queer family members and was scared, even though my grandma had demonstrated in many ways that she would never do that. And you'll be glad to know she didn't. She loved me. I almost didn't apply to medical school because a few people told me I was an airhead, and I kept comparing myself to others, convincing myself I wasn't smart enough to be a doctor. Thankfully, I'm in year 3 of 4, so I'm almost done. I almost didn't email a rabbi when I first became interested in Judaism because I read things on the internet telling me either you couldn't convert, that converting wouldn't make you quote unquote really Jewish, or that when you expressed interest in conversion, you would have to withstand being rejected 3 times before being taken seriously. And the thought of rejection was just a little bit too much for me. I almost didn't apply to a specific away rotation for my 4th year of medical school because I didn't think I would ever be accepted and convinced myself I'm not impressive despite all that I've accomplished. And I almost didn't start dating again because I was afraid to be hurt and afraid that my uncertain future in terms of the location of my residency training would ruin any relationship I started. How many of you have also been consumed by doubt and fear of uncertainty? Me too. And especially with the current events of today, which I did not know when I wrote this last week. But if you recall my wording for the last couple of statements, you'd realized I said almost didn't. With each decision, I had to take a leap of faith and trust in both myself and God. I can't imagine where I would be now if I hadn't made those choices, despite not being certain of the outcome. To conclude, I'd like to reference an unintended bit of modern-day commentary. I'm not sure how many of you have been forced to watch Frozen 2 on repeat by eager children or grandchildren, but hopefully you can bear with hearing part of one of the songs from it one more time. And don't worry, I'm not gonna sing it, so you don't have to plug your ears. I'll leave the singing to Cantor Berlin. Okay, so in the song, Into the Unknown, Elsa sings, "I've had my adventure, I don't need something new. I'm afraid of what I'm risking if I follow you into the unknown." I think this summarizes how I've felt, how the Israelites may have felt, and how you likely have felt or will feel in the future when pivoting into the unknown. And whether our journey into the unknown is opening ourselves to a new relationship, choosing a new career, applying for a position we're not likely to get, moving to a new place, coming out to family and friends, or something else, we should try to look at the future through the lens of our strengths rather than our fears. And most importantly, we should have faith in ourselves and in God. Thank you. I mean, if Cantor Berlin
Thank
wants
you, Ashley.
to break out into it.
I mean, I do have a child who was of the right age at the time. We continue with the concluding portion of our service. Alinu is on page 283. Please rise.
עלינו לשבח את הון הכל
You may be seated. As we prepare to share in the Mourner's Kaddish, I offer meditation number 4 on page 290 by the poet Walt Whitman. Why should I wish to see God better than this day? I see something of God in each hour of the 24 and each moment then. In the faces of men and women, I see God, and in my own face in the glass. I find letters from God dropped in the street, and everyone is signed by God's name. And I leave them where they are, for I know that wheresoe'er I go, others will punctually come forever and ever. Thinking about those who came before us, those who were brave enough to go, as Ashley said, into the unknown. We honor and consecrate the memories of those whose yard sites are observed in our congregation this week. Edna Barnett, Mary Bell, Julius Bennett, Lolly Black, Jeffrey Boyer, Yetta Goldstein Brown, Kenneth Campbell, Asteria Cuquier, William Austin Dougherty, Winifred Davis Dougherty, Oscar Ehrenberg, Leonard Fine, Sarah Dorfman Frapart, Louis Furr, Isaac Goldstein, Al Gorbett, Rebecca Greenblum, Milton Halpern, Nat Jefferson, Bertha Katz, Irving Kay, Leslie Sarah Kittler, Harry Kovner, Diane Crape, Ruth Krawitz, Joseph S. Lest, Dave Marks, Leon Metz, Hans Newman, Jeannie Neerman, Hortense Ojeda, Irving Pearl, Mildred Pelsman, Sam Penner, Jacob Phillips, Joseph Edwin Power Jr., Bill Price, Robert Raufman, Al Ream, Edward Ricklin, Beverly Singer Rose, Bella Pearl Rosenberg, Harry Edward Rosenstein, Sally Schatz, Howard Schechterman, Aaron Lieb Schitzner, Anita Markham Smith, Hector Sverdlik, Celeste Barkin Swanson, Harlan Taman, Bonnie Thompson, Bickford Neil Umphris, Edward Vishnevetsky, Stanley Waltz, Joseph Wise, Cornelia Wise, and Ben Zimmerman. To their memories, we link the names of those who in the last 30 days, Shloshim, have been laid to their eternal rest. James Fenstermacher, David Strauss Jr., Miriam Grossman, Jeannie Ann Rudd, Marcelo Gabriel Wechter, Clay Burgle Rips, and Arlene Sukloff. Zichronam livracha, may their memories be for blessing. We join together as one congregation, turning to page 294, as we rise to share in the words of the Mourner's Kaddish together. Yitkadal v'yitkadash me'rabah, be'alma divra chiruteh v'yamlich malchuteh, b'chayachon v'yomechon u'v'chaye d'chol Beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'v'yizman kariv v'yimru amen. Yehi Shmei Rabbah Mivarach Le'olam Omeh Omaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal Shmei Dekudesha B'richu Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiram be'alma v'yimru Amen. Yehi Shlama Rabba min Shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru Amen. Oseh Shalom b'mromah hu ya'aseh Shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru Amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us, to all Israel, to all the world, to which we say, Amen. Please be seated. It's my pleasure to call up Jason Miller Goodman on behalf of our Board of Trustees to share greetings and announcements.
Almost done. All right. On behalf of the Temple Beth-El Board of Trustees, I would like to welcome everyone this evening. Thank you so much for celebrating Pride Shabbat with us. This is always such a great service every year. It's very uplifting for my husband Aaron and I, so we're really happy that you're here with us this evening. I want to thank the musicians. I want to thank Charlotte. I want to thank Ashley for your meaningful contributions this evening. Thank you so much. In addition to celebrating Pride, I want to extend a sincere congratulations to Charlotte and Bob Pollock on their 50th anniversary, Sylvia and Herb Brown on their 64th anniversary, Jossie and Joe Strauss on their 70th anniversary, and Sylvia and Hugh Wolf on their 70th anniversary. Mazel tov on many years of love and memories. There are some upcoming events here at Temple. Every Friday night at 6 p.m., join us for our pre-Shabbat oneg to share in snacks and community as we prepare to welcome Shabbat. This Saturday, join Temple Beth-El and TBE 20s 30s as Temple marches in the San Antonio Pride Parade. It'll be at 9 o'clock with Havdalah at 7:30. Location will be sent prior to the parade for all registered. Also this weekend, donate blood at the Temple Beth-El Community Mobile Blood Drive on Sunday, June 26th from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Donations are by appointment only. Information about how to register or attend these events and many other opportunities can be found on our website as well as the weekly email. Shabbat Shalom.
Our closing song is O Say Shalom, which you can find on page 343. Thank you. I'm sure you're right. If you need the words, please rise.